There we go. Hey,
How you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Good, thank you. Good. Is this working? Can you see me?
Yeah, I can see you.
That's good.
Yeah. Um, but
How
I
you doing?
guess you don't have that much experience working your own camera, huh?
That's it.
Hey, listen, I appreciate your staying up to do this, man.
No
It's
problem. No
it's
worries.
it's 1 a.m. over there, huh?
Yeah, I'm usually awake till 2 o'clock in the morning anyway. So it's no
Why
problem.
is that?
My pleasure.
Why is that?
Ah, it's, I'm not,
That's just the way
I'm
it
not,
is.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
you told me you're going to be off all day tomorrow,
Yeah, mostly off work. Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay.
I'll be down the gym training though. Yeah, so I'll be
Right. Yeah.
down the
But
gym training. Yeah.
and you worked on set until like midnight your time.
Usually, yeah, working. Yeah, usually the schedule is different, always different.
Right.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
But
yeah.
so that's normal for you?
Sometimes, not all the
God.
time. Not all the time. Sometimes, not all the
Yeah.
time.
Okay, good.
Sometimes, yeah. Yeah.
I don't want him to kill you, you know.
No, no. Yeah. How you doing? You good? How are you? You
Yeah,
well? Yeah.
I'm fine, man.
Good.
I taught
Good.
I taught 2 private lessons today, and
Oh, good.
then came home and took a nap,
Wonderful.
and now I'm doing this with you.
Oh, great, great.
I
I
got the
watch a lot,
best.
watch a lot of your stuff, by the way. I watch a lot of your stuff, your training techniques on YouTube and stuff. It's very, very good.
Uh, yeah,
Very
you
good.
don't have to
Excellent. Yeah.
say that.
No, it's true. It's true. No, I've seen you doing. I've learned a lot from it. Yeah. Perfect. Perfect.
Thank you,
Yeah,
thank
I'm
you.
always learning, so I'm always learning new things. So I love.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I actually I wanted to talk to you about that. The most intriguing thing in when I looked up your profile and what have you is training Tai Chi with Phoebe Lee.
All right. Yeah. Yeah.
How did that
Yeah.
come about?
Oh well, just well, I used to go and visit her a lot. You see, so I used to go and visit her. So
Where
she
does she live?
oh, she's near like the San Francisco. Yeah, she's based there.
Okay,
Yeah. So
okay.
yeah, yeah.
So
But yeah, I used to go. Yeah.
you come to
Sorry?
the U.S. a lot?
I used to. I mean, I was there last year. I was in the USA last year. I was
Uh-huh.
training at the in the Santo Academy. I
Okay.
went last year. Yeah, so I went there to do that, and then yeah, just I travel sometimes now and then. Not always, but
Yeah.
no, I can. I travel and do some training and stuff.
And then I've seen the photographs of you with Sifu Inasano. I've seen
Yeah, yeah.
photographs of you with Sigung Taki Kimura.
Right.
So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
wanted to delve into, but let me try to do it chronologically.
Sure.
I read that you started at 3 years old in Tae Kwon Do with your uncle or something.
That's right. Yes, yes. My uncle. Yeah.
Oh,
Armin. Yeah, he
wow.
was my first teacher. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I started training with him, and then after that, I went into judo. Yeah, so I did
Uh-huh.
taekwondo first. Then I went into judo, and then from judo, I went back into taekwondo again,
Mm-hmm.
and then I started doing Wing Chun. But around that time, I don't know if you remember, around that time there was like obviously martial arts magazines. We don't
Yes.
have any martial arts magazines in the UK. It's all finished now, by the way. So
Really?
there's no. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's
But
all gone. Yeah.
you guys used to have fighters. You used to have
Yeah.
combat, I think was one of them.
Combat. Yeah.
They're
Fighters.
all
Yeah.
gone?
Yeah, all gone. Yeah, yeah, all gone now. Yeah, everything's online now, I guess. But I
Yeah.
think you guys got black belt, right? You guys got black
Well,
belt still.
yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I shouldn't really talk. Yeah, I think we got
Yeah.
black belt. That
Right.
survived. I mean, and of
That's
course they
good.
have an online component, and
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
probably there's probably a jujitsu magazine out there
Oh, wow.
somewhere.
That's
Yeah, I'm
good.
pretty. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So okay. So that technology has changed.
Yeah.
I noticed also that some of your. You okay?
Hold on. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. There you go. Can you see? There you go.
All right.
That's
Yeah, you're back.
cool.
Okay. I
Yeah.
noticed that some of your offerings are like online training, right?
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So, all right. So you're off tomorrow from work, but you're going to go down to the gym. I've
Yeah.
seen pictures of you training. It looks almost like a little alleyway, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
But I've seen
Yeah.
pictures of you on the shore, right?
Yeah.
So where do you train and where do you teach? Like all over the place, or do you have a location?
Well, before I was training, it was basically all over the place before. but now I'm training down at the boxing club.
Okay.
So I got invited there. So usually, sometimes I'm in the boxing gym, or sometimes in the corridor. But I like the corridor because it's very like street based, like urban
Yes.
style street based.
Yes.
It's very
Yes.
close in. That's why I like that. You see, I like that kind of that feel of it.
Well, that is the name of your outfit, right?
Right, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So now tell us why you chose that name, Urban Combat Jeet Kune Do.
Well, around that time, I think it was about 9 years ago, I was training with a chap who was in the military. So he was an ex-SAS, and I was like, I stood in JKD at the time, and so I started working out with him. So he taught me the army style of unarmed combat, right? What they use in the army.
Okay.
And I kind of liked it, also the rawness of it. It was almost like very similar to Krav Maga, very similar to Krav Maga. I took that on board, what he taught me, and I mixed it up with what I knew already, like Wing Chun and the JKD, the knowledge that I had.
Yeah.
And just came up with urban combat, Urban combat,
And I saw also two DVDs, right? Advanced Trapping Volume 1 and Volume 2. So I wanted to ask you this: why did you start with the advanced trapping? What happened to beginner trapping, Volume 1 and 2? Huh?
Well, I just want to go in the deep end,
Yeah. All right. So in looking at your profile, there's obviously you've trained in a bunch of things, right? But can you give me the chronology of it? So there's 3 years old, you started in Taekwondo. Oh, I wanted to ask you this: what's the difference between having a black belt in Taekwondo and having a black belt in ITF?
Yeah, so ITF is Northern style Taekwondo, you see, and WTF is the Olympic style,
Oh.
Yeah, so it's the Olympic. It's the one with the V-neck, the V-neck thing.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's slightly different. Yeah. So yeah, basically I started off with Taekwondo, then I moved on to Judo, then went back to Taekwondo and did ITF. I'm not quite sure how many years, but I think it was about 9 years I did ITF, and I got my black belt. And then I went into do WTF because I wanted to compete in Taekwondo. I wanted to compete, you see.
Okay.
So I did WTF, and that was full contact at the time. And I did that for a while, and then I came across a magazine where I saw a picture of Guru Dan.
Yeah.
And I was a big Bruce Lee fan. I was like, I still am, obviously, yeah.
Right.
And so I saw after, Guru Dan and Asanto. But the first two pictures I always saw was Guru Dan and Paul Wunak. These are the two first people I saw. And also, this is about to break. I also, my room is falling apart, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is, and also Taki, Taki Kimura.
Yes.
So these people I saw in the magazine. So I wanted to try and find where they were, how to train with them. Yeah. You see, and I came across two people in the gym who were practicing JKD, in fact, and they were using this book. I got it now, but this book here,
Okay. Yeah.
And they're using the pictures from that to practice it. And I was watching them and I'm thinking, oh wow, this is really interesting. This is completely different to what I know, which was only kicking.
Right. Yeah.
At the time.
Yeah.
So and then around that time, I got video cassettes of like Paul Wunak and Larry Hartzell, because before in the magazines you couldn't see them move, you just saw pictures, isn't it? So
right.
You didn't know anything. Yeah. That's how I got into the JKD.
Okay.
Paul Wunak and Larry Hartzell videos and stuff. Yeah.
Okay. Now, so this was around what time? This was when?
1993. Yeah.
Okay. Right. The reason why I'm asking is because, and this was in the United Kingdom, right? Were you born?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah,
so let's pretend that the world is not as small as it is, and explain to everybody how come a guy with an Armenian last name, right, has has a British accent.
Oh yeah. So basically, my family moved over from our country, so where we were.
Okay.
During the persecution time and stuff like that, so we moved over to England. I was about 6 years old when we first moved over. So.
Okay.
Yeah. I couldn't speak a word of English at that time. So
You're kidding?
So, yeah, I couldn't speak a word of English. Yeah, yeah.
Wow. All right.
Yeah. So it
Okay.
took about 2 years to learn. Yeah, to learn to speak.
All right. So so let me ask you this then. Whoops.
Yeah.
Okay. This is
There's technology. Yeah.
yeah.
One second. Oops. Okay. Yeah. Here you go.
Okay. All right. You're good?
Yeah. Good.
All right.
A break again, probably.
No, that's fine. That's fine. So Paul Johnson is saying that it was really hard to learn JKD in the early 90s. Is that, but wasn't Inosano over there?
Yeah, he used to come over, but around that time in the 90s, I didn't know where he was, so it wasn't really advertised. It wasn't advertised in the magazine.
Okay.
Or was it advertised? I don't remember.
I'm thinking that it would have been.
Must have been.
Yeah.
I must have missed it, but yeah, must have been. Yeah, but we moved over to LA in 1999. We moved over to LA.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to his academy in 1999.
Okay.
And then we had to come back to England for some family reasons. And then when he came over to England in like 2000, all the way to 2007, was it? Yeah, every single time he was in England, I went to.
You went to see him. Okay, got it.
Yeah, every time. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, and I was blown away by his training. I was completely blown away. He's amazing.
And when did you make it up to Seattle, or did Taki Kimura come to England?
Oh no, Taki Kimura. He came to England again. He came to England in 1994. But again, I missed him again.
Okay.
I think it was in England or Edinburgh. I'm not quite sure, one of the two. But I missed that meeting. It was a convention. I think it was a convention at the time. But when I was training with Guru Dan, his seminar in 2004, I think I mentioned to him that I want to meet Taki, and stuff. And so he gave me his like an email address. I think it was Andy's email address.
Okay.
And then I got in touch a few times, and then I think it was Andy. Was it Andy or one of his students or something? But he sent me the phone number and stuff. So I called Sivan Taki and spoke to him and stuff. And he said, "Well, then you come over." And so I went over. Yeah. Very, very nice family. Andy and Taki, very, very nice. Yeah, I was very lucky. Yeah.
And so let me read here from your. So it says 5 animal style, Choi Le Foot, Thai boxing, Krav Maga, Chinese kickboxing. When did you fit all of that stuff in? Just along the way, in addition to the main JKD?
Yeah, along the way.
Okay.
Along the way. I met up with I don't know if you know the boxer Chris Eubank. You know Chris Eubank?
I'm familiar with the name. Yeah.
Yeah, Chris Eubank. Yeah, the senior.
Okay.
His martial arts instructor was Walter Johnson. Now he was from the Bronx.
Okay.
I think he passed away, but he was a 5 animal style master and a praying mantis. Yeah. As well, and also jiu-jitsu from the Bronx.
Okay.
So I met up with him. He was in the martial arts magazine as well, and I started training with him. And he took a liking to me and started teaching me the 5 animals. And so we used to spend like I think we spent a whole year together. Like almost every day he was teaching me, conditioning and stuff like that. Yeah. I was very lucky. I was very lucky to have met him and to his training.
I gotta ask. So you turn what, 42 this December, right?
Yeah, I turn.
I think it's 40.
Yeah. Yeah, 42. Yeah.
Okay. Can you still kick way over your head?
Yeah, I can still do it. Yeah.
God damn! I envy people like you. I can't.
Not for long.
Oh, okay. I can't pull that off. I can't pull that off anymore. Listen, can you talk about what you were on set doing, or are you got to be confidential about that?
Yeah, I got to be
okay.
Confidential.
All right.
Sorry,
Cool.
Yeah, one day.
Is it okay? Is it a grind? Because my experience with the stunt world in LA was that people had to hustle. Is it similar in England? Is it the same thing in your industry over there?
It can be. It can be like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah, it can be.
So what's the main attraction about doing stunt work?
It's just fun, doing the, getting into fights and stuff.
I know.
Figuring the fight out and stuff, and arranging the fight scene. It's really good fun sometimes.
Yeah, because you've done a bit of that too. The actual, not just the stunt work, but the fight choreography, correct?
Yes, I've done a bit of that. Yeah.
So how do you learn to do that?
I trained with when I was 16. I don't know if you know the gentleman. You heard of Dave Lee? Dave Lee?
Yeah.
Yeah, Dave Lee. Yeah, I trained with him when I was about 16.
Okay.
And he trained me up a bit in the stunt fighting and stuff like that. And I was very interested. Yeah. So yeah. So he taught me, and he kind of helped me get the contacts in UK.
Right.
I was around 16 when I first met him. So yeah, and then we just kept in touch and stuff like that. He's a very nice gentleman too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
nice how old were you when you did your first role?
I was 17, about 17 years old.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
First role, yeah.
So now, do stunt people don't have to study acting, do they?
Yeah, a little bit.
Really?
Bit, yeah. Yeah, of course. For them to show the emotion, the reaction, the emotion, and yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
See, they never told me that.
Yeah.
I see. Yeah. Because it says here, Strasbourg method acting and Brighton College of Performing Arts and all that. Yeah.
Oh,
that's very cool. That's very cool.
Yeah. I studied a bit of theatre as well. Yeah.
Okay.
A bit of theatre work. Yeah.
So what is, because I saw this on your bio also. Yeah. What the heck are sugar puffs?
Oh my God.
You did an ad for sugar puffs. What the heck is sugar puffs?
No, it's a breakfast. It's a breakfast cereal. Sugar puff. Yeah, the honey. The honey monster. The honey monster. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, what drove you at age 16 to work with Dave Lee? I mean, at what age did you know or think that you wanted to do this kind of stuff?
Yeah, I was like, what was I? 9 years old. I was 9 years old. I knew I wanted to be doing this stuff. 9 years old. Yeah. I used to look at the magazines. I used to look at, Guru down in the magazines, and also Dave Lee used to be in the magazines for being Batman at that time.
Yes.
So I used to I was inspired. I was really inspired to, obviously Bruce Lee movies. I was trying to see how it was done. How it was. It was magical, really. Once you get into it, it's quite magical. Yeah.
All right.
Put it all together. Yeah.
Okay, so hang on a second here. So for some reason, probably because I've never done a show this late, my phone is saying that it's going to run out of power in like 10 minutes. Sure. Right? Okay. So no. So when that happens, guys, we're going to go off camera, and or unless I find a way to power up this phone quickly, right? But because I still got questions for you, right? Sure, okay. Sure. So we'll just keep going until the power runs out, and then I'll message you, and we'll if we have to do it off camera, or if we can go live again, we'll hook it back up, right? Okay. No problem. Sure. So when I worked on Only the Strong, I walked around the set asking people this question, right? So I went to like the stunt guys, and I said, finish the sentence. Every stuntman wants to. So finish the sentence for me. Every stuntman wants to. Every stuntman wants to, or wants to be. Okay, wants to survive or wants to be.
Wants to be seen. I don't know.
Okay, yeah. See, because what I was looking for was the hierarchy, right? And so by the time I got to the assistant director, he said that every director wants to be employed.
Oh yeah. Sure.
Right?
Of course,
yeah. I never got up the ladder to like the producer or whatever. But so I want to ask you that. So, any thoughts on going behind the camera, writing stuff, any of that type of thing?
Yeah, I mean, I thought about writing some things, some bits and pieces. I thought about writing some bits and pieces. Or directing even. Yeah, I think I did do one directing film. I directed one film in 2005. That was a complete disaster. But yeah, it was my first one.
We have to start
Um,
somewhere.
yeah, I got to start somewhere. Yeah. But I'd like to
Yeah.
maybe do that actually. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm, that'd be good
All right.
fun.
And so I asked you before about differences, I think, in the industry between the UK and what have you. Does everybody in England want to get to Hollywood,
Uh,
or are they happy just working in the British film industry?
I think both. I think some people
Okay.
want to. Yeah, I think it's both. Yeah. Some
Yeah.
people want to work here or come to Hollywood. But I think Hollywood's coming to England now. I don't know. I think it's a lot of films being made in England now. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
In the UK, yeah.
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 Yeah. And do you have a preference for the type of work that you do? I mean, so what I'm saying is, like, there's the short films, there's the feature stuff, there's the advertisements and what have you.
Yeah.
No,
No,
no preference.
I don't mind.
Just work, huh?
Work. Yeah. That's all good. Yeah.
Okay.
Experience. It's just for the experience. It's
Right.
like the JKD as well for me. I'm always learning. Never
Yeah.
stop learning. Yeah.
Yeah.
Always. And I love that. Yeah.
And how do you with all of the background that you have? So, for example, what is there from Tae Kwon Do that features in what, like, let's say what you're going to teach this week? What is there from Tae Kwon Do that features in what you're going to do?
Tae Kwon Do. Mainly, obviously, the kicks. I try and incorporate and teach the kicks that I think will work in a street situation.
Right.
Yeah. That's what I try and take from that. Yeah.
Okay. And similarly with all of the, let's call it the non-JKD stuff, so the five animals and what have you.
Yeah.
For
5 animals.
Yeah, I mean, so yeah, what I'm trying to determine is, what are your criteria for what you keep and what you discard?
Oh, I see. So yeah, basically, I discard the really flashy stuff, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
I take on board the things that will work, hearing from the 5 animals. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Make it more simple, like, obviously, and more pliable in a street situation, basically.
Yeah. And how do people find you? I mean, to start training with you, is it from just how prolific you are on Facebook, for example?
Not really, no. Usually, it's from YouTube. They find me from YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah, and then go on my website, and then they find me from there. Yeah.
Okay.
Contact me.
Yeah. The website, is that, it's Urban Combat. It's whatever it is. It's urbancombat.club, right?
Yeah.
I had never seen that before. What the heck is .club?
It's usually it was street survival, but it's been changed to club. So it's like a club. It's like become like.
That's hilarious.
Trying to make it like a community. Yeah.
That's hilarious. And I always ask people this, like, what kind of people come to you? What are they looking for when they come to you?
Some people are looking for, like, guidance, or help. Mostly when people come in, not want to, like, learn to like fight or something, or bully people.
Okay.
Usually they leave sooner. They leave quicker. And I won't usually. I don't teach people like that. Like bullies. I would never have them in there. But usually people who come to me are like trying to achieve something for themselves.
Yeah.
To make themselves stronger or more confident. And or some of them might have some certain problems that we don't want to try and get over. So I try and help them. Get over that as well. Yeah.
And would you say that's part of what martial art training has done for you as well?
Yeah, definitely, of course. Yeah.
I mean, because you started at 3, so I mean, you probably you've been kicking butt for decades.
That's it.
So I don't think anybody ever bullied you, huh?
No. Oh no. Oh no, no. There's always been elements of that, you know. But again, yeah. But you know, it's helped me a lot. You know, it's helped me, you know, overcome and get through different things and stuff. And it's
Yeah.
in the strength, isn't it? In the strength, you know. So
Well, yeah.
yeah,
So here's the
yeah,
thing, right?
yeah,
On your website and
yeah,
in everything that I looked up, there's never a big write-up, but there's
right,
always mention about the spiritual aspects of martial art.
right,
But
right.
but you never go deep into it.
No,
How
no, I know.
come? How come?
I haven't really had a chance to do that really. Yeah, go deep into
Yeah.
that side of
Yeah.
it.
But
Yeah,
it seems to be
yeah.
an important aspect
It
of
is. It is.
what you
Yeah,
do and what
of
you
course,
teach.
of course. Yeah,
So,
yeah,
okay,
absolutely.
so here's your first attempt live on
Okay.
Facebook.
Right.
Go deep for a few seconds.
Sure, sure. Um, yeah, well, you know, like you know, JKD and all these different arts, I believe it's for you know, for your own spirit. I think you know to train yourself
Hmm.
inwardly first, like you know, train from the inside, and then for it to shine from the outside. You know, because a lot of people, I think, many people um, get it mixed up a little bit. They do that outward training to look like physically strong and everything,
Yeah.
but yet inside they could not maybe not be strong. So I believe that JKD or any martial art, in fact, you should always start from the inside. You know, training from the core. You know, from your spirit, make that
Right.
strong, and then you'll start to, you know, you become in tune with it. You
Yeah.
can, yeah, yeah.
Do you think that in Jeet Kune Do we do a good job of preaching that or of bringing that out?
No, I think yeah. Sigang Taki used to do that
Hmm.
a lot. You know, he used to speak about the you know to that side a lot. You know, and I
Yeah.
think Guru Dan used to as well. I think Guru Dan spoke about that side as well. Yeah, I think some do, some do, but I think maybe some are more towards the yeah,
Yeah. Well, I mean,
yeah,
yeah. I
of
mean,
course, yeah,
yeah. Especially in today's world of
yeah,
ultimate fighting championship and
of
whatever,
course. Mm-hmm.
everybody's always talking about the
Yeah,
reality of combat and
mm,
pressure
mm,
testing against a
of
resisting
course.
opponent and what
Yeah,
have you.
sure, sure.
Um, what are your thoughts on that, on the emphasis on pressure testing against a resisting opponent?
That's good. I think that's a good thing. Yeah, I think it's
Okay.
good. It's a good thing to do that. Yeah. I used to do a lot of sparring before,
Hmm.
but there's only a certain amount you can really get into it sometimes. But then again, sometimes also you don't want to hurt your opponent. You know, because
Hmm.
obviously if someone's resisting, you don't want to hurt your opponent. So you got to do it in a way it's um, yeah, controlled manner. I think.
Right.
But pressure testing is good.
Right.
It's good to do it, but sometimes it can be also dangerous, right? Because
Yeah.
sometimes you might lose control and hit him a bit too hard or something, and then you don't want to hurt anyone either, right? But then
Yeah.
again, it's good to do it sometimes, to do it sometimes. Yeah,
So
definitely,
that means then that
not always.
we have to teach people how to train intelligently. So what are your
Yeah,
ideas on how to do that? What is intelligent training for you?
um, making sure that you're doing everything correctly, I guess. Not to go too overboard, too much. And make sure you don't hurt yourself. Basically, if you damage yourself, you can't train again, right? So for
Hmm.
maybe a month or 2 or 3 weeks,
Hmm.
So that's for me. That's intelligent training, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
The stuff on video that I've seen of yours, everybody talks about how fast your hands are.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Where does that come from?
That's just from hours of watching Guru Dan, you know, and studying him,
Yeah.
studying. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Also, that comes from. I don't know if you remember this, but in 1998, there was in Paris, Bercy, in martial arts festival,
Uh-huh.
the martial arts festival in Paris, Bercy. There was a demonstration by Ron Baliki, you know,
Okay.
Did a demonstration. It's on. I think it's on YouTube somewhere. He did a demonstration,
Okay.
and I remember watching that on TV when I was a
Yeah.
kid. I watched that, and his hand speed. I was like, oh wow, look at this guy go. Absolutely amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was inspired. I was inspired by watching people like, Ron Beliki and Guru Dan,
Hmm.
and Paul Wunak. So
Yeah.
I was watching them, and I was trying to figure out how these guys made their hands so quick.
Hmm.
And I just keep practicing drills,
Right.
repetition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you met Paul personally?
No, I never met Paul.
No, you
No,
never met him. Okay.
never. No.
Okay.
Love to.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
didn't meet Ron either. I didn't meet Ron Beliki. I met Diana. Lee. Yeah.
Okay.
Met
Yeah.
Diana. Yeah. She's a lovely lady. Yeah.
Well, short of meeting them, you can always watch their episodes with me, on the
Oh yeah, I've seen
dialogues.
it. Yeah, no, of course I've seen it. Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, very nice. Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Very good.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
No, that's good
Right?
though. No.
But yeah. So I think I've asked other people from England that I've dialogued with, when we were going through all of the controversies in JKD over here in the States, about the concepts and the original and all that stuff, right? Did it have any effect? Do you remember it having any effect on you guys in the UK?
By that time, I think there was like different people were training in different ways. Some people were. You're right. Some people were doing concepts, and other people were doing strictly their version of what JKD was. So yeah, there was a bit of a mishmash happening in the UK at that time. Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
I noticed again in your writings that the word concept is used, right?
Yeah.
But the word original is also used. So I wanted to ask you, was that deliberate, so that nobody paints you in a particular camp?
Yeah, that's right.
I noticed
That's
that,
it.
right?
Yeah.
I noticed that. I
That's
go,
it,
I think he's trying to communicate something here.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah,
So let me try to paint you into a corner.
Sure.
If you think there's something can you think of something that needs to be communicated in the JKD world, to the JKD community?
I think more get together. I think come together more.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I know there's some people that don't get along and stuff. It'd be nice for everyone to come together and just share ideas. I think it'd be great. I think
Right.
I think there's not. For me, the highest hierarchy for me, the best guy out there is Guru Dan and Asante. I think he's and I believe that we all can learn. We can all learn more from each other. We can all learn from each other, and that, in that way, you gain knowledge from each other. I think that'd be great to come together, because there's a lot of. I'm not sure if there's. I think it's gone. What about you? Did you feel that there's a bit of dividedness?
Well,
sometimes.
Yeah, I tried to ignore it from day one.
Right.
Same here. Because my philosophy, my approach to it lies pretty much in Bruce Lee saying, well, unless human beings have different anatomical structure, we're all going to do essentially the same thing.
Yeah.
So to me, if he's talking about outside of the JKD world, well, then it's even more relevant within the JKD world.
Yes.
So I'm all for everybody. I mean, like, one of my dreams is the ultimate instructor conference. You know what I mean, right? Where we just have that. We have somebody from. I mean, look, you never went out to any of the nucleus gatherings, did you?
No, I never did. No.
Okay.
Never
Yeah.
Did.
So that was, I mean, that was somewhat of an earnest attempt. I think they made, I don't want to say they made a mistake, but I would have done things differently. But then again, I'm an Inasano boy, so of course I'm going to say I would have done things differently. but
Sure.
I definitely think that one day we should have that
Definitely.
huge instructor conference. You
Oh,
know,
that'd be good.
yeah.
Yeah, of course.
So
Yeah, that'd be good.
we'll work on it.
Yeah, definitely.
Right.
Yeah.
We'll
Definitely,
work on it.
definitely. Yeah, that'd be good.
So okay. So listen. Here's the other thing I wanted to ask you. Are you going to do this until you retire?
Yeah, yeah, I think so. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, of course.
Okay.
Absolutely.
But you,
Yeah,
you get but you got to go back and do the beginner trap-in DVD.
yeah, I'll do that. Yeah. Okay, I'll do
All right. Okay. And
I think
then
it's already out there. Yeah. So,
yeah,
yeah.
and then you got to do the video on JKD kicking,
Oh,
right?
yeah. That's a
Because
good
I
idea.
mean, as somebody who's been in Taekwondo for so long, right? And so you've
Mm,
absorbed what is useful from
mm,
Taekwondo, right? I
yeah.
don't know if is I don't think anybody's ever put out a video on, you know,
Mm.
Jeet Kune Do kicking and how to
Oh,
develop it or what have you.
oh, yeah. That's a good
You
idea,
know what I
actually. Yeah.
mean, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, I mean, we can look at. Have you? I'm sure you've seen Salem Ashley's box française stuff,
Yeah, of course. I've
right?
seen his stuff.
Okay,
Yeah,
right.
absolutely. Yeah, no, it's very good.
So
Yeah, yeah, of
so
course.
and so we know that there was
Yeah.
an influence.
Yeah.
We know that we have Salem as a
Mm,
resource,
mm.
but where's the video?
Oh, I see. Yeah, of course. Of
You
course. Yeah.
see,
Yeah, yeah.
where's the video? So I
Mm,
think
mm.
you, because you can do the splits, you're
Oh,
the
yeah.
guy.
Well, it takes me 45 minutes to get into the splits now. Whereas before I could just jump into it before, but I
Yeah.
can't do that anymore. Yeah. But I
Well,
can, yeah, still, yeah,
hey,
do
if
something.
I ever got into the splits, it would take 45 minutes to get me out of it. All right. So more power to you, right?
Oh, thank you.
Um,
Yeah.
so okay, so somebody here is saying, talk about what we discuss in JKD Brotherhood. I wonder, who is this? Jesus Santiago, huh? I wonder what he mean. What do you think he means by that? Talk about what we discuss in JKD Brotherhood. So yeah, so let's say, right? Let's say that you and I, right?
Yeah.
We're planning
Mm,
the ultimate Jeet Kune Do Instructor Conference. So
mm, mm.
let's see. So what's the first thing that we work on, in your opinion?
Let me see. First thing that we work on. I guess we work on the invite, right? Invitation.
Okay.
People can invite.
So
People to come.
what's the criteria for that?
No, just get people together. I guess get the right place and get people together and right names. And,
Yeah.
you know, and make sure everyone's going to get along and you know, have some shield just
Yeah.
in case.
Yeah, but see,
Really
but
kicked off.
I do not
Yeah.
understand. I do not
Yeah.
understand. See what you just said. I mean,
Yeah.
we're making fun of it, but that could
Yeah.
be a serious thing. Why would
Mm,
we have to make sure
mm.
that people get along? Why wouldn't it be?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't it just be automatic?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, when I meet people, I usually just, I do my best to, hear their story and get on with
Right.
people, but just sometimes I think maybe people's ego gets in their way, but I've
Yeah.
never been that kind of, I'm just,
Yeah. See, I mean, and I suspect that you use a similar approach. I'm always
yeah,
looking to find out what I can learn from you.
yeah, me too, yeah, same here,
You know
yeah,
what I mean? Right?
yeah,
Because
same, yeah,
it's
same,
like there's no
yeah,
way that look, here's the thing.
mm,
Bruce
mm,
Lee died at 32.
yeah,
So we know he didn't know everything.
mm, mm, mm,
Now he knew a lot, but we know he didn't know everything. So
mm,
as his followers, shouldn't we have that same inquisitive
yeah,
approach, you think?
of course, absolutely, yeah, no, definitely, definitely. But yeah, I'm always a student of JKD, always, always
Right.
learning. If I
Yeah.
can learn something from, yourself or anyone, if I can learn something new from anyone, I'll just take it on board and learn,
Yeah.
And I say thank you as well. Thank you. I say, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I had an online discussion with a guy over the weekend,
yeah,
and it started with Aikido. He was like, "Well, Aikido doesn't work," and I'm like, No, I think it does, because there are people out there risk locking the hell out of other people, right?
Yeah.
But his contention was, well, you don't see Aikido in MMA, so obviously it doesn't work. Do you have to go through any stuff like that? Is the MMA influence big in the UK, where people are like, if I don't see it in the UFC, it doesn't work?
Yeah, it's pretty big here in the UK.
Yeah.
I think it's becoming bigger. Yeah. And I think you're starting to see a lot more in the UFC and MMA. I think you're starting to see a lot more people doing trapping and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think I've seen sometimes.
Yeah.
It's being used now. You know, it's being used now.
The only thing we like, I guess, the only thing we need now is for somebody to take somebody down and put them in a wrist lock, right, and submit them, right, and then the discussion will change. You know.
Of course. Yeah. Of course. Yeah. Of course. Yeah.
Right. So if you were gonna write the ultimate martial art film, do you have some ideas that you'd put in that?
Yeah, lots of ideas. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah.
Okay, give me one. I won't steal it from you, right?
No, it's fine. No, but I'll make it more. I like to make it more spiritual. You know, more spiritual aspect of it. Yeah.
See, I knew it. Yeah. I knew it about you. I knew it about you. Is the John Wick trilogy a big hit for you guys too?
Yeah, it's massive. Yeah, it's massive.
Yeah.
Big, yeah.
What do people ask you about the stunt work in those films?
What do they ask me about that? Just mainly they ask me about how it, if it's actually like how it's all applied and stuff like that. Because I think in some of them he actually does use JKD, obviously, in some of the movies and stuff. Yeah. And I think you're seeing it more now in movies now, right? And it's more common now in films, like John Wick, Taken. Have you seen Equalizer?
The Denzel Washington one?
Yeah.
I didn't. You know why? I'm not a fan of all of the derivative stuff. So when they're remaking this and remaking that,
no, of course,
I don't rush to see that stuff, but at some point. But then when I hear, but there was JKD in such and such movie, then I'm like, oh man, I guess I should watch it. Okay, so now how would you answer this then? Because you're a professional. How would you answer this? What would you, if you were in charge of fight choreography for John Wick 4, what would you do? What would you do?
Okay. The more trapping, yeah. Close quarter stuff, yeah.
Okay. Right. Yeah. Because somebody asked me that, right? So tell me what you think of this, right? Because you're a pro, I'm a moron, right? But here was my idea, right? John Wick swears off killing, right? But not completely. He swears off killing with his own weapons. So every fight scene, he disarms somebody and uses their weapon.
That's good.
Right? Back on them or on the other assailants. What do you think of that?
Perfect. That's good. It's never been done before. I might use it actually. I might use it. That's great. Yeah. That was my idea. Right? That's perfect. Yeah, that's brilliant. That's epic. That's an epic one.
All right. So listen. All right. I don't want to keep you up, and I gotta get up early in the morning too myself. What's the best way for people to get in touch with you? Is it Facebook or YouTube or something?
Yeah, Facebook, YouTube, or just on my website.
Yeah.
Anything. I'm around.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure.
All right. Okay. Sure. So did you answer my question about what your main communication to the Jeet Kune Do world would be? Because I'm gonna give you a final chance.
What do you mean by that? Like
you gotta. So your message to the Jeet Kune Do world.
Oh yeah, let's come together in love. Let's come together in love. Yeah. And work out our differences. Not in a fist fight, just talking.
Yeah. I mean, I think so. So okay. So when we seriously start to put together this instructor conference, right?
Yeah, definitely.
The first thing is they got to.
Hey man.
Okay. All right.
Good. Cool.
Yeah.
All good.
There's no feedback, so we can do this for a few more minutes, right? Sorry about that.
No worries, man. No,
All right.
good. All good. All
So
good.
listen. Yeah. So we were talking about having guys sign a contract that they would get along, right?
I mean, guys, sign up. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, and then we make sure that we have somebody from the Seattle group,
Yeah, of course.
somebody
Absolutely.
from the Oakland group,
Yeah.
somebody from the LA group. Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
what would you want to learn from the Seattle group? What would you want them to highlight?
Well, one of them from the Seattle group, you mean? More like to Chisel and entry techniques and stuff like that from Chisel, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what would you want from the Oakland group?
Oakland group, I'd say, let me see, what is Oakland? I guess what I saw from the Oakland group was a lot more the explosiveness, the explosive, like going, yeah, the explosive side of the JKD. You know,
Okay.
I'm not saying that Seattle doesn't have it. Seattle actually does have it, but a lot more the boxing side of in Oakland. I think the boxing side of it. Yeah.
Okay. Have you trained with anybody from the Oakland group?
No, never.
No.
No.
Okay.
No.
All right. Okay. So now we get to the LA group.
Yeah.
What do you want from them?
From who? Which group?
From LA group.
LA group. Oh yeah, LA group. I like to learn everything from the LA group. So that, yeah. The Muay Thai, the Kali. I like to learn. Yeah, also the JKD, obviously. Yeah, I like to learn. Yeah. All
Right.
this different.
But let me play devil's advocate here.
Yeah.
Is immediately going to object to that and say, well, what the heck is he talking about? It's supposed to be JKD. So why is he talking about this other stuff? What's your reply to that?
Well, Bruce Lee was open-minded, so he would have wanted, Bruce. He would want to research in different arts as well. So he can take on board and add it onto his JKD. Obviously, yeah.
Well,
yeah. I mean, I think when Bruce Lee was alive, he did do research on different arts. So he did research into Silat and Ali. I mean, yeah.
That's what they say, right?
Mm.
But have you ever read anything that verifies that Bruce Lee researched a bunch of stuff?
Yeah. Let's see. Read a book. Yeah. It was in the old magazines, isn't it? The old Kung Fu monthly magazines.
Right. Well, okay. Yeah. What I'm saying,
yeah.
and I'm just devil's advocate in here.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Sure.
What I'm saying is that's what we read. We read that Bruce Lee researched a lot of different arts, right? Yeah. We even read sometimes that Bruce Lee trained in a bunch of different arts.
Yeah, sure.
But when has that ever been verified?
Yeah. The funny thing is, Phoebe Lee, she did mention to me that her brother used to do different fencing. Obviously, he did fencing. He did boxing. So knowing how Bruce was, I'm sure he would have researched different.
Right.
With Guru Dan, research different arts and stuff like that. Because is it true? Like in Silat, I see a lot of JKD in Silat. I was looking at Silat. Am I right? Or
well, I mean, if I was asked the question, right? Yeah. Okay. Here's the thing. So Silat has, let's just use a phrase with which everybody is familiar, right? So Silat is trapping.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So when they apply trap in hands, going back to that idea that there's only so many ways that we can move, there's bound to be a commonality.
Yeah.
Silat trapping hands, Wing Chun trapping hands, and anybody else who uses trapping hands, don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely. No, definitely. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So then to me, it's like, well, let's see what the commonalities are before we start nitpicking about, you know, what is and what is not, and who researched what and what have you. Because if people have, you know, like the guy who was talking to me about Aikido, right?
Yeah.
I said to him, ultimately, I go, okay, so before the UFC and MMA, are you saying that Aikido sucked and nobody was ever able to use Aikido to defend themselves? All right.
That's it. Oh, yeah, right.
You know, I don't get that attitude. Now, okay, so let's play this game. You get to ask Bruce Lee one question. Okay.
Yeah.
So there's some kind of time vacuum or whatever that.
Yeah.
And he's on the set of. You pick the movie. He's on the set of.
John Wick 4.
Okay, no, it's got. No, you're playing the wrong game. It's got.
Bruce Lee movie. And Enter the Dragon. Enter the Dragon.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Sure.
You get to visit Bruce Lee on the set of Enter the Dragon. You can only ask one question.
Okay, I thought he was visiting me. Okay,
Okay, question.
Yeah. Okay. What gave him that drive to? What was it that gave him that drive to achieve what he achieved in such a short space of time? How was he driven? What was that drive? You know, that driven. What made him wanna? Yeah.
Okay, so since we have not yet invented that time machine, now you got to answer your own question. What do you think it was?
For Bruce, I think he had it within him from the beginning. Maybe, you know, he was born with a certain power or something, genetic power. I don't know. Or maybe he was born with certain. Also, he was born with certain not disability as such, but maybe, you know, he was trying to make himself stronger, so he could maybe have more confidence, you know, and that kind of thing. I don't know. Maybe that's what drove him to make himself better, you know. Also to give something back to humanity. I don't know, you know, because I think, for his own people as well.
What drives you?
What drives me? Just being, I think, you know, it's just that passion, you know, that passion. For me, it's been a passion of mine since, you know, I was a young kid, and watching my uncle do the Tae Kwon Do, and I kind of grew up around that time in the late 70s. I remember the late 70s. I mean, I was like, four. I mean, I got good memory, so I remember that time and the feeling in the 70s. The martial arts scene, I think, was different, and even the early 80s. The martial arts scene was completely different to what it is now.
Oh yeah. For sure.
Do you agree with that? Yeah. Do you agree that certain? Yeah.
I mean, I joined Inasano in '83.
Wow. Yeah.
Wow. You know, and so we were actually talking about that this past weekend, and you know, like I like to say, he was on fire in those days. You know, I mean, he's still on fire, but he's 83 now.
I know, yeah.
He was like approaching your age.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Really? Wow.
So what we saw was that drive and creative energy.
That's it. Yeah.
You know, right? So now in your line of work, there's got to be a great deal of creativity, right?
Right.
So give us an idea of like, if somebody comes to you, if somebody hires you tomorrow and they go, okay, we want you to choreograph this TV show, this movie for us, or whatever. right?
Yeah.
What's the first thing you do?
Read the script. I guess read the script
Okay.
and see what aligns.
Okay.
And then what I do is I meditate. I meditate over it. You know? I meditate, and that's
Really?
yeah. I meditate, and then I try and visualize
Right.
it in my mind.
Yeah.
I visualize it in my mind, and then I start doing it. Yeah, that's what I do.
Ah, that's
Yeah.
that's
Or
excellent.
sometimes I might draw some stick figures. Yeah. So
Yeah.
different things. Yeah.
Okay.
So I
All right.
visualize. We do our
Yeah.
visualization. Yeah.
What choreography out there? Do you is there like favorite stuff that you've seen?
Choreography.
Yeah.
I prefer the old stuff. You know, I prefer the old. The old stuff.
Like
36 Chambers of Shaolin. You know, the old.
oh,
I prefer the old things.
you're a
Yeah.
cool guy.
Yeah. I prefer the old stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's different. It's way different back in them days. Yeah, the
Yeah.
choreography and stuff.
Hey, did you on Facebook somebody put up a screenshot of Sifu Dan in Big Trouble in Little China? Did you ever see that one?
Yeah, with a shotgun. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember. Yeah. I saw it when I saw that film. I was 7 years old. My dad took me to see that film.
Are you
And I spotted him. I spotted down in the stunt house. That's the guy from the magazine. What's he doing with a gun? Yeah. It was in that film. Yeah. Oh yeah. I remember. That's a good movie.
Yeah, that's an excellent movie, man. I mean,
It is.
if you, I would rewatched it, and I would do something similar. I would just tell my students, right? I'll go, okay, here's that guy. He's from the Inasano Academy. Here's this guy. He's from the Inasano Academy. Here's this guy, right? It was hilarious because there were so many. It's so funny. Back in the day, there was a Thursday morning Kali class that Sifu Dan would do, and I called it Hollywood class.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Yeah, because everybody in that class was like, "Oh, I know this guy from that movie."
Yeah.
It was ridiculous.
Did you meet Brandon as well, or?
I actually partnered Brandon in one class. Yes.
Wow. Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah, man. Right.
Wow.
That's my claim to fame right there.
Wow.
You know?
Yeah. I heard he was a very nice chap. I heard he was a really nice guy. Yeah. Brandon. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow,
yeah. I mean, if you didn't know who he was,
then,
he was just another student at the Inasano Academy.
Wow.
That was the approach. That was the atmosphere.
Amazing.
Yeah. Right.
Wow. Great.
Okay. All right. So I really am taking up too much of your time now.
No.
Let's do. You get to ask Dan Inasano one question. Can be any setting. You pick the setting. Right. You ask it. No, two questions. Right. Okay. What do you ask him? Is there something that's always been on your mind?
Yeah. Funny thing is, whenever I met him in person, whenever I meet Guru Dan in person, whenever I go to ask him something, I'm like, I can't get my words out. Seriously, I can't get my words out. Something. I'm so nervous. I get so nervous when I see him. I'm like, oh my gosh, this guy. Yeah. So I'm not naturally a shy person anyway. So especially with Guru Dan, I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I going to say to this guy? He's like, Yeah, but okay. And he looks at me like this. He looks at me like.
Yeah, he would.
Yeah. I think I'll ask him about his own training. How, because it's like an encyclopedia, isn't he? Really, Guru Dan. It's like a encyclopedia. I'll ask him how he, trained his mind to become so good at what he, how he's like the status of ability is attained. How he's attained that training, That's what I ask him. Right.
Okay. All right. That's question one. Then he gives you that answer. Then he says, "Okay, I like that question.
Right.
You can get a second question."
Okay. Okay. Let me see. What would I like to ask him? Yeah. Also, The drills on the pads, the pad drills that he does on the pads, like the pack cell, up cell, and then these
Mhm.
ones, like,
Mhm.
was that from Bruce, or was that something that he developed himself? I never got a chance to ask him that question.
Ah.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Okay. What do you think?
I think he probably worked it out with Bruce, maybe. Yeah, yeah. I think maybe it comes from Bruce, and then he developed it. Maybe he developed it.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah,
Well,
I'm not sure. No.
I actually do not know the answer to that, but
Mm,
I'll tell you this, and maybe you've
yeah.
heard me say this.
Mm,
Whenever we've done those drills with the focus mitt, there's a particular one involving the lopsow and the back fist, and
right.
it says that Bruce Lee would always hit him in the chest with it because he could never get his hand up fast enough.
Oh well.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I don't know if that's,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know,
That
with
confirms it.
or
Yeah.
without the focus mitt. Who knows,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it confirms
Uh,
it. Yeah. So yeah. Of course.
but yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, right.
Amazing. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure,
Amazing.
for sure.
Amazing.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Listen, man, go get some
Yeah.
sleep.
Okay. Thank you.
All
Yeah.
right.
Thanks for your time, though. Thanks for having me on your show. I appreciate
Ah,
that.
no,
Yeah.
no, this was my pleasure. It was really good to meet you.
You too. You too. You too. Yeah. Definitely. Thank you
All
so
right.
much. Yeah.
Okay. You take care.
Appreciate it.
Talk again
You
soon.
too, man.
All right.
Thank you. Cheers. Thanks very much.
Bye.
Thank you, my friend. Bye-bye. Bye.
All right. Barring the technology snafus and what have you, I really do not understand. Sometimes there's no echo. Maybe we should just do stuff at 9 o'clock at night, right? And then sometimes there is echo. Anyhow, sorry for that break. I have no idea why my phone wasn't charged. But we'll forget about that. Okay, so that's it for tonight. Feel free, share, like, comment, ask questions. Um, I'll review everything after posting. Sign up for notifications for when we go live here on Facebook, and also when we put the final edit videos up on the YouTube. And please subscribe to the YouTube channels for this, the Jeet Kune Do Dialogues, but also for the I Love Jeet Kune Do broadcast, for the FMA files. Follow me on Twitter at Dwight Woods, on Instagram at Dwight D Woods. Coming up on Wednesday, 6 p.m. will be, I don't have the what we're discussing yet, but Wednesday, 6 p.m. will be the I Love Jeet Kune Do broadcast. And then on Friday, October 4th, episode number 92 of the Jeet Kune Do Dialogues with Perry William Kelly. He is the author of the book Dan and Asano, The Man, the Teacher, the Artist. I always want to say the myth, the legend. I don't know why, right? And that, he and I had planned to do it on Zoom, but I'm trying to see if we can switch it to Facebook Live. So by Wednesday, I should know, and I can give you guys the heads up about that. But that's for Friday Jeet Kune Do Dialogues. All right, okay, that's it. So I'll see some of you here on Wednesday, and then some of you again, hopefully on Friday. This is Dwight Woods, the Jeet Kune Do Rebel, signing off. Everybody have a good night. If it's morning where you are, like Andrew Weaver and those guys, good morning to you. You guys take care. Bye.